Hey guys, Commander Jaime here, and I'm bringing you a mid to late game combo video for Blue Waves. I'm going to go over some combos that require some minimal effort, and then of course you can extend from that, and then of course some different plays that sometimes you can't stride, and of course the how to make Wailing Tavas an actual stronger turn as well. So I'm going to start with the minimal combo play. So let's say you're in the mid to late game. You already should at least once or twice or whatever, right? So you're gonna restand, and of course your Tetra-boil on Anger Boil, so that way you get the full benefit of that skill to go off. So what I also like to do is have Huevos and Stacia in one column. So because of this and working with Anger Boil skill, you're able to get let's see, 6 attacks. Yeah, because you're restanding. In the sense that your Vanguard will be attacking the 5th way, and then of course your triggers aren't wasted if they PG it, which they normally PG the 2nd attack anyway, and that way you can put them in the remaining rear guard. So with a minimal effort, we're going to attack the Vanguard. This is only going to be a 6+9 column, which is 15, so it doesn't hit that 16k mark, but that's okay. And then of course on attack, you do the skill, where you counterblast, and then restand these two. Flip that dude, just cause they get +3/+3 and twin drive 29, right? Then you follow up with Huevos doing the skill, kind of +1, and he's 14k restand. And now you can go either way, to be honest, whether you attack with Stacia or Huevos. The important thing is that they attack the Vanguard, of course, so you can get the restand. But because you did Anger Boil skill on Stacia, she is a 12k attacker from the back row, so it hits an 11k Vanguard, which is nice. So then you can attack the Vanguard with Stacia if you want, poke, 4th battle, you discard a card, restand your Vanguard. And then here you go with your Vanguard, your remaining twin drive, and you give all the triggers to Huevos. Let's say you whiff, and then we'll attack with Huevos once more, and that'll be your 6th attack. If you got no triggers, it's 14k. So all these attacks are hitting over the 11k mark at least. So it's nice that all your attacks can actually hit. And of course, if this is like in the late game, they're probably at 4 to 5 damage, which is more likely for you for them to guard everything and maybe take certain attacks or even a Vanguard on the 1st attack. So they save their G guard or their PG on the 2nd attack. So that's like one of my very easy minimal plays that you can get off. Pretty easy restanding turn with being like 6 attacks though. I think it's pretty cool. So we can extend this combo play with 2 cards, but we'll start off with 1. And I think the easiest one is Seagull Soldier. So of course with Seagull, you Soul Blast 1, let's say Bubble Edge. You're gonna give +3 to Fuegos. So Fuegos right now is 12k. And when he does the 3rd wave and the 4th wave, he'll be 11 +3, making a 14. And then with the Anger Boil, it make him a 17k attacker. So it hits that 16k mark. The reason you want to do behind Tetra is because he is 29, and 29 +7 makes a 36k column when he boosts. And you will boost on the 2nd attack to actually get the bounce back to hand as well. So because of Seagull Soldier actually giving that +3 to this column, it's no longer 15 attacking the Vanguard. It's going to be 18 now. And then of course, you restand your column, +3/+3, 29. You twin drive. Then for your 3rd wave, Fuegos is 17k. Restands. And then if your opponent's Vanguard's still in the 11k mark, then you poke for 12. That way you save your bigger attack after the 2nd twin drive. And then you'll just restand. Like that. And then with a 29 +7, this is the 5th attack, a 36k column. And then of course at the end of the battle, he bounces, and you're free to attack with a 17k column, assuming you got no triggers. So notice how Seagull Soldier made this into a 16k mark, and also, or technically 17k mark, and then the 1st attack being an 18k column. Those are 5k shield value you're getting now extra on all those 3 attacks. And then of course if they have to G-guard this, it makes it harder for them to G-guard with the additional +7k boost. So that's one play. The other card to extend with is yours truly. Where is she? There she is. Damia. So, essentially, same pattern. It's like the Vanguard, 15. Then on the second wave, you're restanding these +3/+3, and then of course Damia skill. You Soul Blast, which was the double edge from the last play. Tetra is now 31k, which is nice. So it hits a 5k threshold. You do your twin drive, then you have to do your third wave with Fuegos to get the restanding skill. And because of Damio going off, he's +2, making that +3 into a 5k total, making it 16k attack. Then after that, it'll restand, and now you can go either with these two, because she's 11 and she's 12, so you can go either way. Let's say you did Damia, poke the Vanguard, Tetra restands, then of course this is a little smaller poke, so you can poke again just to make them drop another card. And then finally with Tetra, getting your other drive check. And at the moment it doesn't really matter if you do Damia again, because it doesn't pass its threshold anyway, so that saves you Soul Blast. And then of course triggers go to Fuegos, and then Fuegos will be 16k with no triggers. So that's just with Damia. And so just to point out, this is now 7 attacks, so you get an extra attack out of this, which is pretty cool. And you're applying a lot more pressure too, because usually more attacks mean more cards out of your hand, more cards out of your opponent's hand, which is good for you. So let's see. Now, let's see. So now we'll be doing what happens when you have both. This requires an additional Soul Blast. There is, let's see, that's actually going to require 3 Soul Blasts in total and 2 Counter Blasts in total. And there's a reason why. This combo play has all of your attacks hitting at least 16k and over. So this is pretty good if your opponent's at 4 damage. So even if they get a damage check trigger, you're still hitting. So with Seagull Soldier, of course, you're going to give +3 to Fuegos. So Bubble Edge is gone from the soul. That's his cost. And let's just say you had another card in soul for the purpose of this video. There you go. So the same style. You're going on the first wave. This is 18 again. Then Tetra, doing the skill of Damia. You do +2/+2, and you do +2 here. You'll see why. Now with Angers, restand +3/+3. So Fuegos is 17k base when he attacks for the third wave, and of course Tetra is 31, which is awesome. And then for the third wave, you do Fuegos. Fuegos is 17, restands. So then you'll attack for the fourth wave with Fuegos, right? Then you'll get your restand. Now, it doesn't really matter with Damia attacking after or before, but let's say we'll just attack with this column after that. And then of course, your Seagull will bounce, and they have to guard this because it's 11 + 7, so it's an 18k column. And then finally, with the final Vanguard attack, you do Damia skill once more to give the +2/+2 and then +2 here. And then you give any triggers to Stacia. Stacia this whole time got +3, making her 12k from the back row, +2, making her 14, and then now just another +2, making it a 16k attacker from the back row. And so that will be your final attack. This is also 7 attacks, but they're all hitting for 16k and higher. So this is pretty good for if your opponent's at 4 damage, just so that you're able to put them out of the game. So that's one. So this is for a different extended play. This one's going to cost you 3 Counter Blasts and 3 soul blast, not 8. But what's really cool about this one is that you'll get 8 attacks. And part of the reason is because of Orphea. So I have some solo to begin with, so you can use cards like Malika. You want to give a 3k boost to Fuevos, whether it's Seagull or Malika or some other thing, before you go into your battle phase. That's important. So you gotta be careful with Orphea, because she is a once per turn class when she boosts. So you want to attack with the unit unboosted later on, in case, so you can restand later with a bigger boost from Fuevos to keep going. And so Fuevos, because he got the plus 3k, he's a 12k attacker for this battle, and that's cool. So then of course you do Tetra, and then you do Anger Boil skill, and you do this to plus 3, and you can choose the second rear guard to give power to. And in this case I'm going to do Stacia, making her a 12k attacker from the back row. So you do your twin drive, and then you get to your third wave, which is Fuevos. And then of course, keep in mind that you do Damia skill as well. So Tetra's 31, and this fixes Fuevos, also being, let's see, he's 12 plus, no, he's 11k plus a 3, 14. Damia makes him a 16, and then from Anger makes him a 19k. It's an awkward number, but it's fine for now. So 19. And then of course, since this is the third wave, it restands at the end of the battle. And then you want to leave this column standing still. So for your fourth wave, it could be either basically Stacia or Damia. And in this case, I'll do Stacia. 12k poke to the Vanguard. So now that's your fourth wave. Then you restand. You have your Tetra restand. And so with Damia, she's still 11, so she's not really going to hit any magic numbers. So feel free to attack, poke the Vanguard. And then of course you could do Tetra for the wave 6. And then you can do Damia once again, and just give it to Fuevos, making him a plus 2. So now Fuevos is actually going to be 21k by himself. Notice how there was 2 plus 3s and 2 plus 2s in total, making it a 10k total boost. And then of course he's 11k when he does his skill, so it's 21, hence the magic number. And then you do your twin drive, stack it all on Fuevos, ideally crits, and then of course you'll boost 21 plus 7, making it 28. And now with Orphea's skill, Counterblast and Soul Blast, you restand Fuevos minus 5. And Fuevos is 16k without any triggers. So then you can poke once again with Fuevos, giving you 8 attacks this turn as well. So pretty good. May not be as intuitive sometimes. I kind of thought this through just some random mind. Like, I wonder how far I can extend the number of attacks. And of course Orphea and Stacia are involved. So that helps a ton. And then of course Orphea is a unit that I play in my deck profile for having the resist ability and having the utility of being outside the Dava stride, and so for the non-control matchups. So in case you need to, in case you can actually go Tetra-boil, she at least helps you in the sense that you can extend an extra attack, and in that sense. So on a Wailing Dava's turn, there's a couple of things you can do here. One of the nice guys that you can play with is having a Seagull Soldier. And of course you do the Seagull Soldier in the main phase to Soul Blast and give plus 3 to Wailing. The idea is to give an additional 10k plus to Wailing Tavas with this column. And then of course you can have your minimal, non-restanding units to get you to the third wave, or you can have multiple restanders to get you to the maximum battle limit before you attack with Wailing. So in the sense, we'll just let's say we poke Tidal, right? 3. It's a 9. It misses. Again, second wave. 4. Misses. Third wave. Skill. 11k. They have to drop a card if they don't want to take it. Restand. Attack again. They have to drop another card if they don't want to take it. And then of course on Wailing, you do the skill. Retire 4, since he's the 5th wave. And then of course he gets plus 20 for the number of attacks this turn. So he's 26 plus 20, making him 46. and an additional plus 10k through this column is 56. So he's 56k, no gray ones, and potentially ending the game. So this is one way to make your Wailing Thalas turn stronger. And then of course, if you didn't have this and you just made the minimal, just having the Seagull Soldier helps a lot, because you get to the third wave and you only get plus 10 and then plus 10 again, making you 46k. But still, 46k is a big ass number. So you're gonna you're either gonna drop a lot of hand to effectively guard this, or you're just gonna take it, and if there are 5 damage, you just win unless they heal. And if there are 4, you could potentially crit them out of the game. So that's Wailing. So there are one time in CFA I actually came to this kind of setup where I had Generation Break 2, and I think it was either by G-guarding or something, or striding after a while, and then eventually it got to the point where my field was looking like this, and I think I made the decision where it was like this before and I could have used this to stride, but instead I decided to do the GB2 skill instead, and partly because it was using Bubble Edge still, because I didn't have it used in the early game. And so what I did is basically did Bubble Edge skill on the Anchor Boil on the right. So whenever it attacks Vanguard, 4th battle more, draw a card. And so what you like to do is basically have this attack a rear guard or a Vanguard, and then GB2 skill gets plus 5, restands the rear guard, and gives it plus 10. And so this is 16, they have to guard that, and then to get to your third wave, now for your third wave, it'll be a 11k poke, whether it's their Vanguard or rear guard. And then finally, where the magic happens, you can do the 4th battle, you draw a card. And this is 21 plus 7, so it's 28. And if you had any triggers, it's bigger than that. And then of course you do, Stasia's skill at the end of the battle to restand at -5. And this is 16, attack the Vanguard, and draw another card. So with this play, I was able to get 2 cards back to my hand, and I did 5 attacks. So it's a neat little scenario I got myself into. So of course there's a better way to do this too. In the coincidentally it was Fuegos that I drew. Perfect. The idea is that this is basically the other setup you can do, where this pokes a rear guard because it's 9k, and then of course this actually doesn't matter, so I'm going to take it out of the equation. You do the plus 5 and plus 10 here, and then finally you just do the third wave skill, restand, and then this is boosted, so 21 plus 7, this is 28 again, and then of course do the skill Orphea, restand, so it's an additional, I guess, kind of less in this case. And then of course this is 16 without any triggers. So you're able to get, let's see, 5 attacks. Yeah, 5 attacks without having this rear guard here. So if you had a rear guard here, it will be 6 attacks in that point. So that's pretty cool. That's actually one game I could not stride for whatever reason. I think I only had like grade 0s and a Fuegos in hand, and I decided to do this play, and it actually was enough to beat me to win me the game. And it was against Novas. So it was restanding Vanguards, restanding rear guards against restanding Vanguards and restanding rear guards. So both of us were getting out of gas because we applied so much pressure to each other. So these are some helpful combos that I've learned through just playing, and then of course thinking about, and so if I ever get in a scenario, I would consider these plays. So it's nice that because of this GB2 skill actually being handy, just because you can't stride doesn't mean you automatically lose the game. And I learned that through personal experience and at an ARG event, which is, holy crap, came in clutch, and especially Pueblo was playing a part into that. Plus 10k abuse in a sense. So I hope you guys enjoy this extended plays for the mid game and the late game. There's tons and tons of combos you can do. These are a few that I think that weren't really as obvious, I would hope, I think, or not as often come up, I guess is the better way to say it. And so I thought I'd show this off, and I hope it helped, or at least made you feel better about it, about playing Blue Waves. People always have the argument, should I play Davos or should I play Blue Waves? Both decks are strong. They all have their pros and cons. Just play them to your liking. Meta changes. It's always a meta call. So that's that. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.